the brother of Kevin Spacey, claims the shamed Hollywood star is worse than their Nazi rapist father and also accuses him of having a creepy relationship with their mother in a bombshell new book. Randy Fowler also reveals how he almost killed their abusive and racist dad, who he nicknamed the Creature for his inhuman behavior after he had raped Randy over 50 times when he was only 14. The book was published just weeks after Oscar-winning Spacey faced a slew of sex allegations from men, some of who were only teenagers at the time of the alleged assaults. Now, in Randy's first interview since the explosive book came out, the 62-year-old told Sun Online, "I heard Kevin checked himself into some sex addiction clinic. Well, excuse me, but you're in the wrong building. It's far more serious than that. Kevin was a king on his throne, but he has now been dethroned by all these allegations, taking advantage of people using his wealth and power. All my life I thought I had protected Kevin from my father, and it turns out it's all for nothing, because he's worse than my father, the Creature. He's worse because he had wealth and power, and with that you get influenced. The first few chapters of my book slice Kevin 1,000 cuts, but this is the truth. This is how child abuse affects people, and if Kevin doesn't like it, too bad." In the book, entitled A Moment in Time, Randy documents years of abuse in which his Nazi-sympathizing father Thomas Fowler beat him, whipped him and emotionally abused him from the age of 6, before he started sexually assaulting him at age 14. "He would push me up against the wall and sodomize me," he said. "My mother would be banging on the door saying, 'What's going on in there?' And he'd have his hand on my neck telling me to shut up, and she'd just walk away." But seeing as though he never speaks to me, I'll probably never know. One of Randy's most painful memories in the book is from summer 1968, when at age 14 he reached his breaking point and almost killed his father with a gun. "All of a sudden I'm stuck upstairs, and I hear the Creature's voice shouting me, and I started panicking for my life," he said. By then I was 14, and he'd been raping me for about a year every week, sometimes more than once, so I'd probably been raped at least 50 times by then. "I went and hid in my father's closet, and I saw this brown box with a German Luger that my father had brought back. I figured out how to load it, and I crouched on my knees and waited, sweating like a pig and scared tless. I couldn't take any more. I was drained. I had been fk'd to death. I heard my father come up the stairs, and I was shaking. If he would have opened the door, it would have been all over. I would have pulled the trigger. And I'm not sure if I would have stopped at my father. Maybe my mother too. That's a desperate act for a little boy." Randy is brutally honest in the book, blasting his brother as a pathological liar who stole his identity and was cruel to his fans. He lists several anecdotes about their childhood which Spacey has claimed happened to him in interviews, when they actually happened to Randy. "I dedicated a whole chapter to this in the book. He stole my identity," Randy claims. "There was the time I burnt down my sister Julie's chicken coop by accident." He says it was him, but it was me, and I got a severe beating for that. And he claimed he broke the second lieutenant's leg in military school after he insulted his dad. "Again, that was me who did that, not him. I was beaten by the colonel with a paddle in front of my parents, then beaten again with a whip when I got home for that. It might seem like nitpicking, but I suffered this, and it made me who I am today, and my brother has no right to claim any of this stuff as his. It's beyond belief. He's a liar. I tease, because his life was uneventful. He was coddled by my mother and ignored by my father. So he's been trying to tell the world he was a troubled child saved by theater, when in fact he was just a mama's boy. Randy, who lives in Boise, Idaho with his partner Trish, goes on to claim Kevin had a creepy relationship with their mother Kathleen, acting clingy and jealous around her and treating her more like a lover than a mother. He said that even 6 months prior to her death, when she was ill, he pleaded with his brother to buy him a plane ticket so he could come and see her, but he refused. By then my mother was in a vegetative state, so I never got to resolve anything or have the conversation about my abuse. Kevin stole that from me, Randy said. When he finally let me come, I remember I was sat next to her, and he literally pushed me out of the way because he didn't want me next to her. He was so clingy and jealous. You know, their relationship was very strange. There have been rumors floating around the family. It's not just something I speculate on. She used to hang all over him like a cheap suit. It was disturbing. I wish my mother would have given me a tenth of that love and affection. If I could ask him 4 questions, they would be: what went on between my mother and you? Did my father abuse you? Why did you abandon me for 40 years? And lastly, am I in your will? Rod Stewart, lookalike Randy, who runs a limo service called Rod's Limos, also recalls an incident where they were having dinner together and some fans approached their table and asked for autographs. We were all at dinner and Kevin was talking about himself and how much of a star he is as usual, and some girls came up to me and asked me for a picture, and it turned out they were visiting from Boise, Idaho, and they recognized me. He spun his baseball cap around so you could see his face and sat there like that picture from House of Cards and started talking about himself again. He wasn't pleased I was recognized, and he wasn't. Then a different set of women came and said, "Oh Kevin, we love your movies, can we get a picture please?" And he turned around and said, "Can't you f***ing see I'm eating dinner? Leave me alone." I've never seen 3 or 4 women so hurt. They walked away, and I said, "What is your f***ing problem? If you don't want to be bothered with the public, why did you become an actor? Why did you have to be such a DK?" He was like, "Can't they see I'm eating?" He didn't care, and it made me realize that this wealth and power this man has accumulated has made him very arrogant. While Randy doesn't hold back any punches, he is keen to point out that the aim of his book is not to criticize his brother, but to help other people who may have suffered child abuse. The book co-author and editor Bonnie Soto said, "We want to help those who have suffered like Randy has. We want to help survivors to find the strength to come forward, and we invite anyone who wants to break their silence to contact us on Facebook or by mail, and we can help." and Randy's other wish is that he can mend his fractious relationship with his brother. "I can help Kevin, I know what he has done, and I can help. He doesn't have to grovel, my door is always open," he said. "It's tragic to see him fall from grace like he has. Now Kevin Spacey's moment is over, and only Kevin Fowler exists. He's the same as me. We were close for many years as children and I'd love to get that back. If my brother wants to redeem his career, he would have to make restitution with me and ask forgiveness from the public for all the stuff he has done." "He just has to pick up the phone to me. There's nothing to forgive when you love someone." The book is available to buy here. SUN Online has reached out to representatives for Spacey and received no response.